My phone dinged again and again, vibrating almost violently in my pocket. Without looking at it, I flicked the button on my phone's side to shut it to silent. I continued on, explaining how documentation assessment worked to the newbies who'd been dropped off to me that morning from HR. The group seemed interested in what I was saying, and chuckled as I retold the story about a client saying he wore his savings on his wrist, and the photo he was going to send me of his watch to prove he had the money. Then, all at once, something was wrong. The back of my neck was suddenly drenched in a cold sweat, and my palms were prickling. I let out a shaky breath, and one of the group asked if I was alright. I nodded, and then heard a knock on the boardroom door. One of the floor managers walked in. Her face looked stern, and I felt my stomach starting to flip. "Guys, I need to grab Lily about something. Can you take a break downstairs in the kitchen? I'll come get you once we're done so you can finish your induction." They all nodded and made their way out of the boardroom, happy to have a break so early on the first day. "Amy, what's going on?" She bit her lip and took a seat, motioning for me to do the same. I complied. My knees felt like they were going to buckle from the anticipation of whatever she had to say. There was a silence, and in that silence I'm pretty sure my heartbeat was audible. Amy and I were friends, really good friends, and I could tell something was really wrong. Her eyes were glassed over, and she kept fidgeting with the ring she was wearing. "Lily, something's happened, and you may need to go home." I felt my eyes narrow at her. Go home? I was the only training manager the office had. There was no way I'd be given the okay to go home. Unless... Who died? I asked with a weak laugh. "I don't think I can answer that right now, but..." Amy moved closer towards me, now taking a seat right beside me, and she placed her hand over one of mine. "Alex is missing. One of his friends found me on Facebook and messaged me. No one's heard from him in 5 days. His parents wanted your number. They wanted to speak to you to see if you knew anything." My response to this was to move over to the small bin we added in the corner and vomit. Amy rubbed my back as I cried and dry heaved for what felt like forever. The rest of the day was a fog. Amy drove me home, and I sat on my sofa, curled up in a ball, covered in blankets. I didn't realize how long I'd been there, feeling sorry for myself until I heard my front door open. My dog barely reacted, instead choosing to push his wet snout into my face. "Lily, are you okay?" I sat up, and Amy looked at me with concern. "Have you eaten?" "No." Amy stroked the side of my face for a moment. "Well, let me make something up for you, and maybe you can run yourself a bath." I nodded and padded into my bathroom, closing the door behind me. I watched the bath fill with hot water, feeling numb. Alex couldn't be missing. I was gonna have a hot bath, come out and see Amy cuddling my dog, and explaining it was an elaborate prank. Yeah, that would be all. Everything would be fine. I lowered myself into the water, hoping the scalding heat would wash the day away. I leaned over the tub to fish my phone out of my jeans pocket. I stared at the unaccounted notifications. Alex's friends had been desperate to contact me all day. Why would I know where he was? Didn't they know? Alex was my best friend, but for the last 4 months he hadn't spoken to me. Apparently some girls really don't let their boyfriends have close female friendships. I scrolled through all the messages on my phone. At first everyone thought Alex was on a fishing or camping trip. Then his roommate snuck into his room to steal his badly hidden weed stash to realize all of his stuff was there. Every single fishing rod, rucksack, or piece of camping gear was in its usual place, untouched and gathering dust. I scrolled through the notifications on my phone, seeing the countless messages from Alex's friend Peter, a few from his brother, but only one message stood out. A message from a name I didn't recognize. Neville Seam. I clicked the Facebook message and felt confusion bubbling in my stomach. "He played a game and he lost, but I think we can get him back. Give me a call on." Redacted. A game? What fucking game? I could barely beat Alex at fucking Mario Kart. What game could he have lost? I heard Amy humming in my kitchen, and for a moment I considered asking her to call the number with me, but then I remembered that Amy was a rational human being. Even in the state I was in, I was still slightly surprised that she hadn't scolded me for leaving my front door unlocked, for her to just waltz in. Me calling a strange number to get information about Alex? No. she'd probably rightfully tell me not to do that, because it's an insane thing to do. I took a steady breath and called the number. On the third ring, the phone was answered, and a disembodied voice began speaking to me. It had an unbearable twang, as if the owner had just finished smoking 20 cigarettes straight, and then ran a marathon, and it was ambiguous enough that I couldn't be sure if it was a man or woman. "Lily?" the voice croaked. "Neville?" My voice sounded small as I spoke, and I pulled my knees to my chest. The bath water suddenly felt like ice on my skin. "I can give you a clue, but I have some rules." "Rules?" A crackle-like static burst into my ear, and the voice spoke again. "Tell no one. He might not make it back if you do." "What type of sick joke is this?" I snapped. "It's about as funny as making a date out of the boot of a car and wearing his jacket." I froze up. How did the voice know? Or maybe it's as funny as holding his hand to steady yourself whilst walking on a beach. My throat was dry. Whoever this was knew things that Alex and I had certainly kept secret. "Okay, let's go." "Answer me this question, and I'll tell you where to find your second clue." "You haven't even given me the first clue." The voice laughed, and it was a high screech. I winced. "If you get the correct answer, you'll have the first clue. Message me the answer. Only one attempt, 24 hours. "Okay, go ahead then." "My name is the game." The line went dead, and I heard Amy telling me to hurry the fuck up. I threw my phone onto the clothes I'd left piled on the floor and finished my bath. Once I emerged dry and cloaked with a dressing gown, Amy was stood smiling with a bowl of tuna pasta in hand. I nodded and took the bowl from her. Then we sat in my living room and ate in silence. Work said they understand if you need time away, and that you still have a fuck ton of personal days to take, so just give us a heads up when you can. "Thank you, Amy." "So, have you heard from him or responded to his friends yet? They told me they tried reaching you." I shook my head. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm trying to get my head around it. Alex wouldn't just run off, at least not without telling me. "Listen, I have to go, but are you gonna be okay? 'Cause I can go grab some stuff and stay over." "Don't worry, I kinda want to be alone." Amy nodded, squeezed my hand and left. As soon as I heard the door close, I pulled out my phone, staring at the Neville Seam profile that had messaged me. He had no posts. His profile picture was of a road, and his profile picture was of a road? I went upstairs, phone still clasped in hand, and pulled my MacBook out from under my pillow and my journal from the top of my dresser. I flicked to the next empty page and wrote out the name and rearranged the letters. 11 miles. I searched for it on Google, and the search bar lit up with results. All the posts detailed the rules of the game, a game I remember me and Alex talking about during one of our once regular car rides. "Lily, that sounds more fake than that elevator thing you told me about." "Alex, babe, this one might be fucking legit." He'd let out an exhale of smoke from his mouth in response and shook his head. "See, with all those other bogus rituals, there's like a million stories with experiences. There is nothing about the 11 miles game." Whatever. But it made no sense. Alex always teased me for believing in paranormal stuff and rolled his eyes whenever I gushed at a new horror release. I took a deep breath as I googled the rules and messaged Neville Seams. Me. 11 miles. My phone buzzed immediately. NS. Bingo. NS. Pack a big bag. Location drop coming your way. I put my phone down and read up on the rules. A vehicle is required. The most common choice is a car. You'll also need a desire, a wish. It must be conducted at night on a road not well traveled. Drive to the woods. The road you take must pass through them. Whilst driving, enter the woods. Look carefully. Your wish will guide you. You'll know the road when it appears. Once you know you found the road, drive down it. Now it's time to understand the importance of miles. Take a break now if you need to. This is the last chance you have. Mile 1 drive. It's gonna start getting cold. Maybe you should turn on the heat. Mile 2 drive. Now you should turn on the heat. If not, you will regret it. Mile 3 drive. Those shadows might look human, but ignore them. It's not how it seems. Mile 4 drive. The voices aren't human. Ignore them. Mile 5 drive. Ignore the trees vanishing, and that lake, and the glow of the moon. Ignore them. It's not how it seems. Mile 6 drive. The trees have returned, but the stars are gone. Your headlights have started to flicker. Ignore it. The radio has turned on now, but ignore it. Do not turn it off. It's not how it seems. Mile 7 drive. The voices are back. They sound closer now. Do not turn around. Do not look at your back seat. It's not how it seems. Mile 8 drive. Slow down, but do not stop. Your headlights might flicker. If they do, you can brake, but do not stop. No matter how cold it gets, no matter who or what you see, do not stop. It's not how it seems. Mile 9 drive. Your vehicle may stall. Close your eyes. Attempt to restart, but do not open your eyes. Whatever you think you hear, do not open your eyes. When your vehicle starts up again, drive as fast as you can. When the mile is over, open your eyes. But remember, it's not what it seems. Mile 10 drive. Do not look in your rearview mirror. Mile 11 drive. Your vehicle may lose power, but it will still move. Let it. If you see a red light ahead, close your eyes. Close them tightly. Cover your ears if you can. Do not open your eyes. Do not listen. Cover your ears. No matter what you hear, no matter what you feel, no matter how hot it gets, do not look. When your vehicle gets its power back, open your eyes. Take a breath and drive. I lit a cigarette, feeling the stress building up. This wasn't real. This couldn't be it. It didn't make any sense. NS. All you gotta do is play the game. Winning a game is not that hard. NS. Well, for Alex it was. I look back at the screen. There's even more information, even more rules. Now drive until the road ends. Stop, close your eyes. What's the desire? What's your wish? Picture you possessing it. Even if it changed during the journey, open your eyes. If you wanted an object, check the trunk. If it was non-material, return to your life. Be patient. It'll be there. You may now find yourself at the beginning of the road. You can start again or go home. During your journey, do not turn on the radio. Do not use your phone. Do not open the windows. Do not drive faster than 30 miles per hour. And do not leave your car. NS. You can pick one rule to break, but you must pick it now. Me. I want to be able to use my phone. NS. On the condition you don't call for help. But if you do, there will be consequences. Me. Deal. So now I've got my bag packed, my sister on her way to house sit. Luckily she's never been one to question my erratic behavior, and my GPS ready for an 11-mile journey. I'm coming for you, Alex. I'm coming. I just need you to hang in there for me.